This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Friday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. It's my little buddy Kelly Bidlin alongside.
Hey,
On a football Friday, right here on a numbers game. And what does that mean? Well, for those who are new to the show, that means Chris Felica, the Bear from Fox Sports, with all of his bets, college football and beyond. Dr. Bob with his college football plays, not missed yet this year. Dr. Bob, riding will have coming off a 5-0 week.
whew.
Dr. Bob last week. And Fezzik, Steve Fezzik Fridays a little later on. Everything that's on his mind from a sports betting perspective, Survivor included. We will talk to Fezzik. So that's how we always round out Friday's show. But before that, or during that, interspersed, Hall of Fame boxing announcer Al Bernstein will join us to talk Canelo and Crawford. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Saw the Venetian Palazzo had changed colors up for their font on the building today.
You have any interest in going to that, Allegiant Stadium?
I mean, it's boxing's tough. Let's get to that.
Boxing
in a second.
stuff. Yeah,
Let's get to
boxing
that
stuff.
second.
Paul Carr with his Premier League picks as well. That'll come up here on the show as well as he starts to move the chains or tries to move the chains with the bets moving forward. But we begin, of course, with last night's Thursday night football game. The Green Bay Packers beat the Washington Commanders 27-18 in a game that was not nearly as close as the final score suggests. I think we could all agree to that. Early in the game, 4th and 3 at the Washington 33. Love, long to Golden, busted up by Trey Amos. But the next time that Green Bay had the ball, after Washington had a 3-and-out, Green Bay pinned at their own 4, but a 7-play, 96-yard drive. Third play, Love to Tucker Kraft, who was invisible, it seemed like, all night, for 57. 4 plays later, Love to Dobbs from 5 out, 7-0 Packers. Next time they got the ball, from the 8, 10-play, 92-yard drive, 4:50 off the clock. Love to Malik Heath for 37 on a play that looked like there was no way he got his feet in bounds.
Yeah.
But he absolutely did. Amazing catch. 6 plays later, Jacobs in from 2, 14-0. Along the way, Jaden Reed, though, breaks his collarbone.
Ugh.
Breaks his collarbone. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks for the Pack. So at this point in the game, 14-0 Packers, if you looked at the box score, it was Green Bay leading in first downs 12-1, leading in total yards 243-23, 29-12 in total plays, and 15-11 to 7-15 in time of possession. Not so good if you're Washington. At 14-3, now this is where the moment in the game where Washington could have done something. 14-3, Washington had a double dip chance. They got the Green Bay Packers off the field, 3-and-out. They were set up at their own 43 after a nice return by Jalen Lane, but they could only get to a 58-yard field goal try from Gay. It was wide left with 14 seconds left in the half. As a matter of fact, Green Bay got themselves a McManus 48-yard try that doinked off the left upright. So 14-3 at the half. And then in the third quarter, this was really the end of the competitive portion of the game, in my opinion. Although, again, the fact that Washington had the ball with a chance for a backdoor cover is one of the incredible surprises of the night. But this was the competitive portion of the game was here because Washington, they got a great kickoff return from Debo to start the second half and a Matt Gay 52-yard field goal try. That doinked off the right upright. And that's when you felt with 11:54 left in the third quarter. At least I did. I was like, not tonight. 17-3 Washington midfield. Now this is later, 4th and inches, just shy of the 40. Eckler for 1. He would later go out with the popped Achilles. You could tell that on the spot. 4th and 7 at the Green Bay 37. They got a defensive hold. 4 plays later to Zach Ertz from 20 out. 17-10 Green Bay early fourth quarter. But Packers came right back. 9 plays, 65 yards. Love to Kraft from 8 out. 24-10. Later 27-10. Jaden to Debo from 10 out. 2-point conversion. McCaffrey to cut it to 9 with 2:53 left. But after recovering the onside kick, 3-and-out for Green Bay. The back door was open. Washington did get the ball back, down 9, spread 3.5, starting at their own 20 with 1:47 left, no timeouts. They couldn't go past their own 33. That's your ball game. And Jaden Daniels, by the way, in defeat, 24 of 42 for 200, 2 touchdowns, no picks, sacked 4 times, and Jordan Love in victory, 19 of 31 for 292, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked twice. Kraft, 6 for 124 and a touchdown. Like I said, felt like he was invisible. A 404 to 230 total yards advantage for the Pack. And I said this in the newsletter. Bill Adie wanted me to say something for the newsletter, and I pointed this out yesterday, which is that's the best defense, with apologies to everybody else. Probably the best defense in the NFC and maybe the NFL. They have now played an NFC championship game team from last year in Washington, the team with the best record in the NFC, Detroit, from last year. And here's what they've given up on defense beyond 19 yards. You ready for this? Zach Ertz's 20-yard touchdown yesterday and 1 Goff to Laporta 32-yard play in week 1. That's it. That's the list from this defense in 2 weeks.
And you don't have Micah Parsons even playing 100% yet.
Don't have that. And I will also suggest with last night's game that Jordan Love missed a couple deep balls. Could have been far worse.
Okay, play that game.
Yeah.
2 starting offensive linemen out.
Yeah.
And he still looked like that. I will say the one holdup, though, on the defense. Finish the defense. It's been amazing so far. Micah Parsons, we haven't seen him play 100% of a game yet, or 100% of the snaps that he would normally play in a game. So that's still coming. I agree with you. I don't know if I'll go best in the NFL, but I think best in the NFC, because I don't, who else are we talking about there with? Right?
Listen, again, Philly is the defending champion, so I want to give them respect.
Yep.
But it sure feels like after 2 weeks of football against good competition, that right there is the team to beat.
And then overall team wise, I
wonder, Kelly, if 4 or 5 weeks down the road we look back at this Thursday night game, wow, that was the team that came the closest.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, I do.
Yeah, maybe.
I do feel that way.
Look, that performance last night was so dominant. I think all of those questions are worth asking.
That's reflected in the betting market, by the way. They are the short shot now in the NFC and the short shot by margin in the NFC North.
Yeah. Yeah, look. This is I think we said all summer, right? What happens to a defense when you add a guy like Micah Parsons? Like it's so evident even in the first 2 games. Like you can see when he's on the field, like how much more powerful and dynamic that defense is overall. The one holdup I have for this team going forward, Gil, is and it just feels like it's 3 years running now with Jordan Love. Jaden Reed goes down.
Yep.
These wide receivers have never been healthy.
Christian Watson always hurt.
For Jordan Love, and then when we're trying to believe in this team, another wide receiver goes down. So that's my only point of caution from that game last night. But how can you not be impressed by the Packers so far this year?
Packers 3-1 to win the NFC. Eagles plus 370. Everybody else 10-1 or longer. Niners, Rams, Lions, Bucks all 10-1. Commanders 11-1.
Jordan Love jumps up in the MVP odds, 7-1 now, I believe.
There's a couple things for that game, too, because, I don't think anybody was open for Washington all night. And part of that is because the pressure on Jaden was so quick that no one could get open. So that was just an amazing defensive performance by Green Bay. And, the 2 gambling takeaways from this, the two betting takeaways, the first one, I said this in the newsletter, which is, 1, and I realized that this game wasn't lined that way, but that result last night, the fact that Washington had the ball with a chance for a backdoor cover, it should give everyone pause in any game that has a big line, a big spread, in other words, to lay the wood, to lay the points. Because if you can be dominated as much as Washington was last night and still have a chance to cover the number, right? So when you just project forward to games with bigger lines, it just should give you pause. That's the first sort of sports betting thing I would glean from that game. The other one is was this the transitive property from geometry when you were in 10th grade? The other thing you can sort of take away from this game is Detroit only a 5.5-point favorite again this weekend hosting Chicago, right? Like that's how good Green Bay is. Because Green Bay did to Detroit and Washington the same thing, which is you're getting no big plays whatsoever. Remember Detroit had those 2 long drives that resulted in field goals?
Yeah.
They just could not do anything but matriculate it, piece by piece down the field. You couldn't get anything long. So is Detroit, listen, I'm guessing lines, even before seeing this game last night, I was like, this spread is too low between Detroit and Chicago. And then the flip side of that is Washington dominated the Giants. Certainly Dallas should be a survivor consideration, as we've talked about, but are they too short of a favorite against the Giants? Again, just doing the transitive property of math thing here.
No, I hear you, and I
Is that transitive or commutative? I can never remember. Let me look that up. Sorry,
I forgot about the
sorry,
old
Mr. Sorkin.
I forgot about the old commutative property. I think it's that one, right?
It might be commutative. Yeah.
So the Lions, you and I were already looking at that way. I think the only holdup for me going stronger on that game is the whole like Ben Johnson X factor that we're still like figuring out, right? How much does he matter to this Lions offense, which I did think looked a little slow and not all together last week. And then, okay, you've just got the weird Ben Johnson coming back to town and them facing each other. The Cowboys are one of the teams that, I mean, at least through week one, they passed the test of what do I think you're going to be, and it's exactly what you looked like week one, and I'm with you, Gil. It's not a bet for me yet. It is definitely a millions play. Was kind of narrowing down those last night. Definitely a millions play for me this week would be the Cowboys laying 5.5. And yeah, I think something else you got to consider more for this week. I think it's fair to say, but I will say I took more out of that win last night, way more out of that win last night from the Packers than week one.
Well, I said headed in, we're going to learn a lot about both teams tonight. And I think what we learned is that Green Bay is above the fray. And I think that Washington is exactly kind of where most of us thought they were before the season, which is what I said was, oh, they're a playoff team. You don't want to play them in the playoffs, but they're not winning their division either because of that schedule. And that was a dominant performance by the Packers. By the way, I'm just getting this in my ear. That is the transitive property. Transitive property.
On the other side, we'll explain it with the commutative property.
No, I won't. That's a little more complicated. We'll go through all the games on Sunday and Monday. Remember, 3 games on Monday. 3 games prime time, Sunday and Monday. That's next on A Numbers Game.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next edition of Prop Points, we'll start off the show reacting to all the action from Thursday Night Football. VSiN betting analyst Ben Stevens will join the program to give out his best bets for Week 3 of college football. Can number 15 Tennessee defeat number 6 Georgia? We'll see what Ben has to say. And we'll close out the show with some of my favorite player props and touchdown props for Sunday's NFL action. I'm John Hansen. Tune into Prop Points at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the sports betting network.
As the official horse racing partner of VSiN, First Bet is built for bettors who demand more. First Bet isn't just about placing a bet. It's about helping bettors of all levels with proprietary AI handicapping tools that provide data-driven insights to help you make smarter bets. First Bet's in-app tools give you win, place, and show probabilities for each runner, so you can quickly and easily identify good value plays and improve your ROI. Right now, you can take advantage of their limited-time $250 sign-up offer. To claim your bonus, use promo code VSiN250 when you sign up in the First Bet app or at firstbet.com. That's promo code VSiN250.
Boom.
Oh, I get something. Something else to say. That's like Kelly.
Bet on them horses.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Mark at UPS Guy. Hey, we got a UPS guy listening.
Hey, we learned this a couple years ago.
Yes,
we have a lot of postal workers that listen to the show. We appreciate every single one of you.
Yes. Well, I think he's UPS.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
I don't mean to offend you.
Right, not USPS.
Or offend. Do you see, this is the problem. Now I'm going to talk myself into circles.
You're creating wars.
I've offended someone.
Uh-huh. He says, seriously, you guys need to do a podcast, talk about the Megapod after football season, of you guys just talking crap about random stuff. Love the back and forth. It's hilarious. Thank you. And thank you to everybody listening to the Megapod on a weekly basis. We appreciate it. Chris Felica, the guest this week. Jody Boggs, narrowing down my circa million selections this week, and the Titans are still on there. I can't go through the pain that Will Hill did last year, regardless of the perceived value. 2-14-1, not great. It's true. It's suboptimal record they had last year. This is from Rydico99. Patrick McEnroe tweeting that the U.S. Open Men's Championship averaged 3 million viewers on ABC on Week 1 Sunday of the NFL, up 82% from last year. Women's finals up 50%.
Them country club sports on the rise.
He said to me, you had something to do with this increase in tennis viewership. I cannot take credit, Rydico, but thank you. Maybe a few of them.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure there's
a few of them.
I think there's a trophy downstairs from the USTA they wanted me to give you.
Speaking of which, I think I have some mail down there I got to pick up. Las Vegas 514. Yo, man, I'd rather watch that 1983 game you were talking about yesterday. I'm not worried, though. He's a Washington fan. He says, it's week 2, short week. We'll regroup, then take it out on Vegas. We'll be fine. Hashtag in Jaden we trust. That we do.
No worries.
No.
But,
you know where you tier.
Yeah. I don't think it's overreacting, though, to be like, okay, the Packers.
Oh, no.
Big question going into the season was we know the Packers are going to be good. How good? And they're looking real good.
Well, and then they got Micah.
Yeah.
That was after we already thought that. Big O ATX, the way the Q-tip intro in the Megapod starts with the Megapod, gets that dopamine flowing. Check it out now. No doubt now. He spells it out. Love football season. Thank you, Big O ATX, for listening to the Megapod. Frank Doyle. I know award talk was yesterday's show, but any value on LaFleur at around that 10-1 range for Coach of the Year? Jeff Hafley, Packers D coordinator, at plus 650 for Assistant of the Year. Yeah, Frank. I mean, I'm find myself nodding to both. Matt LaFleur, who was it? Was it Adam Burke who put it this way? If it wasn't Adam Burke, I apologize to who it was, but maybe it was Adam, who said, think about the difference when Jordan Love goes down, Malik Willis gets coached up for the Packers, and they do well. But in Miami, as soon as Tua goes down, everybody is like, they didn't have Tua. It's just terrible, right? So it's like
it was Burke. I love him.
Yeah, we don't really give
Small
Matt
sample size.
We don't really give Matt LaFleur, because listen, he had Rodgers, and now he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I agree with that.
He's great. Would they have 11 wins last year, though? I think that's going to be tough for that. We always talk about the Cleve TA benchmarks, right? Like, you've got to exceed not only expectations for this season, but what you did a year ago.
Mako, shades of Mako. It'll be a tease if you don't give us a sports scenario for the commutative property. Give the listeners what they want. All right, I'll have to come up with a sports scenario for the commutative property coming up. And
I'll let you handle that one.
And A-Stick Cardano, was I the only one puzzled by the commies' lack of urgency in the fourth quarter? I didn't sense a lack of urgency.
Okay, it's funny you say that now because, looking back at it, I kind of know what you mean. But
I just don't think they can matriculate the ball down the field easily.
The way I kind of took it was,
they're trying
until that brief moment of oh wow, the spread is alive, right?
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like that whole second half, Commanders were beaten and they knew they were beaten.
Well, also, they did the right. They went for 2 down 11, right? It wasn't like they didn't, weren't thinking about it. So there was that. The only thing I would say about the Commanders, and someone pointed this out on Twitter yesterday, which I agreed with, is Cliff Kingsbury going away from Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt as early as he did seemed like a strange thing. Like that, let's go with that a little longer before you abandon
what were the splits on carries? Yeah, 4 for him, 8 for Eckler, 7 for Daniels. Yeah, no, I'm with you. That felt like for me watching, it was just like it just felt like they were mixing those guys in a lot.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Sunday in the National Football League. This is, you guys want to flash up a game and we'll go that way, or we're going to do this in a certain order?
Yeah, we'll go
Patriots-Dolphins.
Patriots-Dolphins first. And Dolphins taking money, Gil.
The question on the Megapod at the end is always, which of the big favorites is the most likely to lose outright? 3 of the 4 of us said the Buffalo Billiards this week. You had to, you're making someone choose. And which is the game you won't know part of. And for me, for the second week in a row, last week it was Dolphins-Colts for me.
Yeah.
It's Dolphins-Patriots for me. I have no clue here. None. And by the way, why are the Dolphins taking money? I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, so Patriots have had historical struggles in Miami. I do think that is being built into this a little bit. You're playing in the early window down in Miami. Expect it to be hot. I do think that's a thing. They always get put on the sideline where you're going to get beaten down with sun too. It's a home field advantage that matters more at the beginning of the season than it does later in the season, right? When you get these afternoon games down in Miami. Look, Gil, as someone who bet the Dolphins last week, there's no way I'm going back to that this week.
Yeah.
But the Patriots were, you and I kind of talked about it all summer. Not very impressive. I'm not running to the window to think this Patriots team is going to jump off the board impressing me anytime soon.
By the way,
so it would be fins or pass for me.
They're the team. The Patriots are the team that literally quit last week, right? Yeah. When Mike Vrabel decided to punt down 10 with less than 5 minutes left. Speaking about quitting, next game. What do we got?
Go Jags-Bengals. How about that?
Jags-Bengals.
3.5-point favorites at home, 49 your total.
Okay, so this is the quintessential, what did we really learn in week 1 game? Because Jacksonville crushes what could be a really bad Panthers team. I don't know. We'll find out as the year progresses. And the Bengals, I still don't know how they beat the Browns. Still don't know how. Well, I know the answer. The answer is that they had turnovers and missed kicks by the Brownies, an extra point and a field goal. That's the answer. But Joe Burrow to the tune of 113 yards, and the Bengals somehow beat the Browns by a point. But again, the Bengals do this every year. But I'm not laying 3.5, nor am I taking 3.5.
Can we just have a broader conversation about that? Where does that week 1 game result mean more to you and more concerns, for the Bengals for you, considering this was the summer? This was the year, right, of, hey, we know we get off these slow starts. It cannot keep happening. It is preventing us from getting into the playoffs. We're going to play these guys in the preseason. We're coming out of the gates ready to go. Would that be the attitude for, the 4 weeks leading up to that game and then that performance, Gil? I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little worried about these Bengals.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
And I do think that they're mixed into that is, look, the Browns looked better than I thought they were going to, right?
Browns did not stink. Saints did not stink.
So I did make a bet on that game. I am a little worried about the Bengals after that whole offseason buildup of where they're at. I'm not going side, but I am going total. So these are the 2 of those teams that are on that list for me. I think they got an offense. Their defense is a disaster. So Jags-Bengals over 48.5.
Okay, there you go. Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 5.5, as I was talking about last segment. By the transitive property, do you think the Cowboys are too little of a favorite? I'd use the transitive property more for the Detroit-Chicago game than I would this one, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But Dallas is an absolute survivor consideration. I know they play on Thanksgiving. I think they also play Christmas, right? They're home Thanksgiving against Kansas City. This is the circa Thanksgiving and Christmas quirk. Home Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, and then away at Washington on Christmas. I'm not playing them either of those, barring injuries to the other sides. So they're a definite consideration.
I was going through that heavily last night. I think there's a very good chance, Gil, that this would be as far as best opportunity to use the Cowboys could be this week. Yep. It's just as far as games go. But if you want to say, hey, they play on Thanksgiving and Christmas, let me keep that in mind. I understand that as well.
I don't feel compelled to save in the same way that I did last year. It's really weird.
They might be one of my select. Yeah. I think they're going to be mixed in. It's not going to be a heavy selection for me, but I do think the Cowboys are going to be mixed in here. Do lean to the 5.5. I haven't betted it all yet. I don't know that I'm going to. It's going to be a millions play for me as well. This is kind of that week 1 line comparison, though, right?
Millions play for you.
Millions
on
play for
Dallas?
me on Dallas,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This is a little bit from a betting standpoint, though, going back to that week 1 line comparison, right? The Giants were catching 6 at the Commanders. I still have the Commanders as a much higher rated team over the Cowboys. So it's only be 5.5, 6 with this game right here. The line checks out.
Bills 5.5-point favorites at the Jets. Like I said, of the big favorites, this is the one I worry about the most. Don't worry, Buffalo Billiards fans. Billiards at Chetropolitans here. Don't worry. I still have you as the number 3 rated team in all the NFL, so I'm not throwing shade. But I just worry about this game a little bit.
Down to 5.5 here at Circa. I'm in, Gil. Bills.
This guy. The Bills can do no wrong with this kid. More week 2 coming up.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide, as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. the Sports Betting Network.
Heading into the weekend, Bracco has you covered. Use code VSiN to load up your account with a 50% deposit match up to $100. Then take advantage of monthly cashback-style rewards that pay you whether you win or lose with contests, free-to-play games, and exclusive event-based boosts. Friday is the perfect day to maximize your bankroll at Bracco. Head to Play Bracco, that's B-R-A-C-C-O, playbracco.com today. They should really have the spelling in the promo. I'm doing them a solid by spelling it out because everyone Bracco.
Way to go, Gil.
No, I'm just saying, for the Bracco people, spell it out,
Yeah.
folks, for God's sakes. Sports example of the commutative property is that the order of events doesn't matter. So Jaden plus McLaurin equals McLaurin plus Jaden equals awesome. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. That's what commutative.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. You know who disagrees with me on Twitter? Dommy Gunn. Dommy Gunn says, not sure what Gil sees in the undersized Daniels. Oh, man. I watched a soft team, well, that's not his fault, that looked winded mid-third quarter. That's not his fault. Like last year's C.J. Stroud was exposed, Daniels is this year. Oh, Dommy Gunn, I am Control-Shift. I am screenshotting that bad boy right now. That's the worst take of the morning. Sorry. See that here? I mean, you think I was lying. I screenshotted that one. Rhodes knows. I know we're addicts, and once the NFL has a day, they won't give it up. But aren't we tired of these Thursday games from injuries and terrible play? Skins had second lowest yards in the first quarter of Daniel's career. These games are a bad product. Someone said that yesterday on Twitter. Someone, forgive me, I don't remember who.
I've been hearing this more and more, it feels like.
So someone tweeted, and I don't know if it was a Skins fan or not, but someone tweeted, like, if that game's on a Sunday, it's different. Listen, Packers dominated. There's no two ways about that. But the general thought about Thursday Night Football, I do agree with, right? It is often a poorer product. But I don't think it would have changed last night's outcome from Thursday to Sunday. But I understand the sentiment.
Look, these are interesting thoughts, I think, from all of us NFL fans. All I'm going to say is I think every complaint I've ever heard about Thursday Night Football is fair. And in the moment the NFL takes it away from us, we're all going to riot. So
that's exactly right.
Like,
we are never happy.
We're never happy. We can complain about what we want to complain about. They take away Thursday Night Football. All right, maybe you guys aren't rioting. I'm rioting, though.
You want to say anything else you want to say about the Bills and the Jets before we move on?
No, Bills offense all day long, every day. I mean, I just feel like I've heard a lot. I know some sharper guys I respect around the Jets this week when it was 6.5. Sure, Jets looked good last week. You got a mobile quarterback. The Bills' defense definitely has holes, but they beat the Ravens last week. Anything you're going to tell me the Jets are good at, the Ravens are much better at. So I'm okay early in the season laying 5.5 with the Bills.
You are Bills.
Yeah.
Pay my telephone bills, pay my automobile bills. That's all Kelly's about. Cleveland at Baltimore.
I got that one.
Biggest spread of the weekend. Ravens favored by 12. Will the Ravens take out their frustration from losing to the Bills after coughing up the 15-point leads? And will they just go roughshod on Cleveland this week and cover this 12? Just talked about how one of the big takeaways from that game last night is, hey, think again before you lay big spreads in the National Football League. I don't know. This could be an exception to that. But you really do have to give pause to this. The Ravens, for me, again, they play Thanksgiving, right? But I don't know. With that Philly hosting Chicago on the Friday right after Thanksgiving, maybe you do play the Ravens in Survivor. I think I will on at least one of mine.
One of mine I will as well.
Maybe even multiple.
Look, this might even be a bet for me this week if the Browns didn't show a pulse last week, but they showed a pulse.
Yeah.
Because anybody wants to go with the spot and all that, yeah, I expect Baltimore to lay the hammer down.
Spot.
It'll be like,
get Matt Brown in here.
I'm not a Buffalo.
List through the spots.
Love spots.
Rams at Titans. Rams are 5.5-point favorites. This is a larger, if you will, spread of the week that I am not willing to play in Survivor. Titans are, again, as I said, better than the box score suggested. Mm-hmm. Defense, credible. Cam Ward let down by receivers, let down by his coach who refused to challenge an actual catch. And after the game, Brian Callahan said, what are you talking about? One elbow doesn't equal 2 feet? Yeah, it does, Coach. Anything here?
No, complete stay away from me. This would be up there on my list. I haven't answered the Megapod questions yet, but this would be up there on my list of both side and total wanting nothing to do with.
All right, we already did that game, guys. We already did the Jaguars and the Bengals. Next is the doop-a-doop-a-doo. It's your whole music. Be-doop-a-doop-a-doo. What's next, Kelly?
Let's go Seahawks-Steelers.
Steelers favored by 3 here on the road against the Seahawks. This is a contest play for me. I got a bet in, Steelers at home, Steelers 3-point favorites at home against the Seahawks at Acrisure Stadium. Yinzer accent not included. I have a bet on the Steelers at -2.5 here. And I will have it as a contest play. A little worried about the injuries in the Steelers secondary, but for me, in a week where honestly, there weren't 10 games or 7 games or 6 that even jumped off the board, I had to go with this one in the contest.
Okay. I actually felt like there was more I like this week than usual when it came to the contest. Lean that way, no play or anything for me.
Niners, 3-point favorites on the road against the Saints. No Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy out 2 to 5 weeks with a turf toe. Only a 3-point favorite on the road with Mac Jones as a starting quarterback at the New Orleans Saints. You want any part of this now?
No, I'm one of those guys who bet Saints early in the week, but at current number, I would not be betting this.
All right, these are all early games, by the way, on Sunday. Continuing now, we go to the Kelly. The
Panthers and Cardinals. Cardinals, 6.5, 7-point home favorites, 44 your total.
Yeah, so this is a survivor possibility because there is probably not a better place to play the Cardinals in terms of future value. It also has the added benefit of if you get through this, you never have to worry about the Cardinals again.
Yep.
Because they are shaky, feels like. Even last week, again, New Orleans had a shot to tie that game up at the end. One of the bigger spreads of the weekend, a survivor play, but not an ATS play.
Yeah, there will be one of my survivor plays. I split them up last week between Denver and Arizona. Everybody I used Denver on last week, I will be using Arizona this week. That was my one plan for week 1 and 2. All my entries use Arizona. So survivor play for me on that game. Betting standpoint, though, will be staying away.
Also in the morning, Chicago-Detroit. This is up to 6 now. And again, what I said about last night's game, buy the commutative property. You got to think that line. Listen, on guessing lines, listen to the whole week. On guessing lines before Minnesota even played Chicago, I was like, this line is way too low. Detroit's -4.5. You got to be kidding me. I bet Detroit -5. It's gone to -5.5. Now it's at 6.
There's 6.5s out there.
Now there's 6.5s out there. It's a survivor possibility. This line was way too low when it came out. I have a bet on it, so all of that. You?
Yeah, I'm in at 5.5 on the Lions
Yep.
side. I was just staring at it. I'm wondering where this thing closes. I wouldn't be shocked if we hit 6.5s painted and maybe a rogue 7.
I feel like a 7 will come up. Broncos at Colts. Broncos 1-point road favorites. It's a complete stay away from me.
I've been staring at this game all week, yo. I think the Broncos will be a million selection for me. I haven't bet it yet, but I do. I think Zach brought them up yesterday. I like them on the money line here. Probably going to be a bet for me, and I'm the under. I'm in on that under too. 43.5. I am in on that.
And the rematch of the Super Bowl: Eagles, Chiefs. Pick 'em at Arrowhead. We're not calling it Arrowhead anymore. We're back to calling it Arrowhead. Why are we calling it Arrowhead here? It's at Geha. What is the name of the Geha? What is the stadium? The sponsor. Anyway, Eagles, Chiefs, pick 'em.
I didn't know they changed.
You think the Chiefs going to go 0-2 here?
I mean, isn't this like almost the exact miniature conversation of the Super Bowl? Like, this is a Mahomes spot that he doesn't lose at all, Gil. Like, he lost game 1. How could he possibly lose this game? But then the other side of that argument is, just the Eagles have a better team.
There is on the other side of that.
Believe that.
The counterpoint is the Eagles might have lost to the Cowboys last week, too. So.
Yeah.
Falcons-Vikings. So we go to Sunday Night Football. Falcons at the Vikings. This was the other one, right? And this is, again, a shout-out to guessing lines. I'll say it again. This is the one where Monday morning, before the Vikings played the Bears, I said, what? The Vikings are 5-point favorites? That's ridiculous. I bet the Falcons. Then it went to 5.5, and everybody Tuesday morning's like, 5.5. That's exactly what it should be. No, it's not. It's down to 3.5. Stop it. Again, guessing lines is the most authentic reaction you could have, not a confirmation bias show. Vikings -3.5. I already got my bet in on the Falcons.
Me too.
At a higher number.
Well, I've got the teaser. Yeah. Teaser with the Falcons and the Bucs.
Double-header Monday night. Love it. I love a Monday night doubleheader. Fewer games for me to have to log on a Sunday. The early game on Monday night is?
Texans, 2.5-point home favorites against the Bucs. I teased up the Bucs side with the Falcons early in the week.
Yeah, good teaser leg, but Not touching ATS, not touching Survivor.
Yeah.
Again, when you said it earlier in the week, you're like, are these too cute to play in Survivor? And I'm like, yeah, they're adorable. You should never play these in Survivor. And then the second of the doubleheader, Chargers, Raiders. 2-1-0 teams. Something's got to give.
I think I might go to this game, Gil.
Really? Because it's a standalone. I'd love to go. Yeah, I'll go to a standalone. I'm just not going in the middle of a Sunday.
Right.
Chargers at the Raiders. Chargers 3.5-point favorites. Total 46.
I think we're in for a great game. No bet for me, Gil. Lean to the Raiders catching 3.5, though. Brock Bowers got to watch out for that injury. So.
Keep in mind, next week, Raiders, Washington. Washington extra rest. Raiders short rest.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. Coming back, Paul Carr moving the chains with his soccer plays. We'll do that. Malika, Pheasant, Dr. Bob. It's all on the way. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out college football and NFL betting hubs for all your resources in one place. Kansas State versus Arizona, Friday college football previews, Week 2 Survivor pick from Adam Burke. And later today you can check out college and pro best bets from Matt Humans, college and NFL best bets from Wes Reynolds, and Noche UFC 3 picks from Britton Hess. How about that? Noche 3. Yeah, Noche UFC 3.
And reminder, the podcast is back.
Dave Ross.
That's right. First Strike.
Rob Moreno.
I definitely didn't blink on the name for a second. First Strike. Rob Moreno. Dave Ross. Get in on the action.
Right now, you can sign up for as little as $9.99 to access all the VSiN Pro articles. Just head to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. That was a promo for the website, not for the First Strike podcast.
Hey, you know, I'm going to show those guys love whenever I can.
That's right. That's right.
Two of my favorite people at the network. How about that?
You know what? Me too. Just don't talk about certain things.
Number 4 and number 7. Just like throw out random rankings.
2 top 7 people at VSiN.
Just for everybody get insulted. Not one of them to know. I want Rob and Dave to argue about who's 4 and 7, and then other people to figure out who's in between. And I'm leaving out.
That's fantastic. Coming up on the show here, we're about to go full bore here. Paul Carr with his Premier League picks. Chris Felica with all of his college football picks. A whole bunch of college football talk. Al Bernstein will join us to talk Canelo and Crawford, of course, followed by Dr. Bob and Steve Fezzik. It is I love Football Fridays. By the way, I can't wait to talk to Al. Canelo and Crawford.
Oh, yeah, we didn't finish up this conversation from the first segment.
What do you mean?
You asked me if about going to the fight. Between going to the fight or watching it at home, the only difference, I will never miss this fight. But when it comes to ordering it or even considering about going to it, the problem is with boxing versus UFC these days is I can order every UFC pay-per-view and whatever. I know that there's going to be fights on for 4 or 5 hours. I only care about one of the fights when it comes to this boxing card.
Well,
and that's a problem with every big boxing fight these days.
Here's the thing. I think I'm going to be on Crawford. I think I'm going to be on the dog. I can't wait to hear what Al Bernstein has to say about it. Al Bernstein, Hall of Fame boxing announcer. But Terrence Crawford, undefeated, 41-0, 31 by knockout. And in 2008, was sitting in his car after shooting dice in his neighborhood when a bullet went through the back window of his car, hitting him. And while bleeding from his head, he summoned the courage and strength to drive himself to the hospital.
It's crazy.
And this is not my favorite Terrence Crawford detail. My favorite one.
Go on.
My favorite Terrence Crawford detail is that his mom, Deborah, used to pay them, and other people in the neighborhood to try to beat up Terrence to toughen him up. That is spectacular.
Sounds like a boxer right there. That's what that sounds like a fighter.
I'll take your mom is not Jewish for 500, Alex. It's like, my mom was like, do me a favor. I'll give you some money if you punch Gilly in the face at the playground. I would appreciate that for it. Maybe toughen him up a little bit. Malcolm Gladwell, if you're listening, you can use this in your next Outliers. That Terrence Crawford became a world champion of multiple bets because of his mom, and he perhaps doesn't give his mom enough credit. And by contrast, I could never become the super middleweight champion of the world, which he is trying to be this Saturday night. Let's talk some soccer. Paul Carr joins us now from an undisclosed location. Not an undisclosed location. We know where he's from. Topeka, Kansas, heartland, center of the country, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter, @Paul Carr. He is part of the Ringer soccer betting podcast, which is wildly popular. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. We're coming back from international break. This is always a weird break because you get 3 weeks into the European season, then you take a week off just when things are getting going. But now we'll try to get back into it.
So does this make it a weird handicapping week for you as a result?
I think so. I'm always a little cautious on coming off international break because there's so many injuries. Sometimes I want to wait till lineups are in to know who's coming back, or just, guys flying back from South America and they just want to rest. Plus, next week is Champions League week, Europa League. So some of these clubs are getting ready for that. So yeah, this is a week I would be cautious with, and you might want to wait till lineups are out to play.
Sandwich spot, huh?
Sandwich
spot for all these teams.
Sandwich spot.
Hey, Paul, real quick, international question before we get to the Prem. Level of concern 1 through 10 with Team USA, because it's problems all over the place again, right?
Yeah, they had a better performance. I'm optimistic. They don't have to qualify, which makes this a weird time. They don't have like really important games in the next year before the World Cup. But I think we'll know a lot more after October, because Pochettino, the manager, said he's done calling in kind of speculative guys, and next window will be, the A team as much as possible. So I think we'll know a little bit more then. But they do have a tough slew of friendlies in the next few months before the tournament.
Kelly, if you'll correct me if I'm wrong, Kelly represents the American who goes absolutely over the top crazy when the USA does well in an international competition. But if they lose, the next day is like, I don't care. It's football.
Yeah. I won't going to say I'm fully in that crowd, but I'm at least lightly in that crowd. Yes, go US.
Yeah.
People go spilling out of bars in San Francisco, and the next day if they lose, we don't care.
Then something weird happened like 10 years ago, where all those soccer bros were like, "What do you mean? I've been a Chelsea fan for 20 years." You're like, "Oh, okay."
That's right.
All right, let's do it. Right. Let's do the Prem. Let's do one on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Let's do it. That's what you ended up with. Saturday, a 1-0.
1-0. We're taking Arsenal. Still the best defense in the Premier League, like they had last year, giving up 1 goal in 3 games, second fewest expected goals, worst shots on average, and all that. They're playing at home. They're missing a few pieces, but I think if anything, that might make them tighten up a little bit defensively. And they're playing a Nottingham Forest team that has already fired their manager, Nuno Santo. They brought in Ange Postecoglou, who managed Tottenham last year. I'm not sure that his kind of hard-working, run-a-lot system fits this Forest team that's really set up to score first and then defend. So I think it'll take some time for them to adjust. So Arsenal, it's the better team that's at home. You're picking the best unit maybe in the whole Premier League in their defense. 1-0, plus 115. That's my play.
There you go, 1-0. Also calls to mind one of Chrissy Andrews, my Mishbuka's greatest story times ever. What is it? Do you know that? The nil story? 1-0. They're going. They won tons of money. They won tons of money. Then some guy says, "Who won part of the money?" He goes, "What is nil? What is nil?
What is this nil?
What is this nil?" Sunday, you have 2, including Liverpool laying the wood against Burnley.
Yeah, we'll lay a goal and a half here. I got this at minus 115 yesterday. I saw some minus 105s out there this morning, so that's obviously even better. As expected, Burnley's really one of the worst teams in the league this season. They got 3 points against Sunderland, another newly promoted team, but they still have the worst expected goal difference in the league. Looked very outmatched against Tottenham, even Manchester United, though that game was a little bit closer. Liverpool's your first place team. They have only team with 9 points so far. Maybe running a little bit hot, but again, this Burnley team has given up the most shots, the most expected goals. Liverpool has brought in reinforcements. They signed Alexander Isak, who comes over from Newcastle after 20-plus goals, I think, last season. Most of the Liverpool attack is healthy. This is just take the far better team, willing to lay it on the road. Liverpool's pretty healthy, we think, in attack. So, yeah, I'll lay the goal and a half at minus 115 or better.
All right, and then it wouldn't be a Paul Carr segment without a total, but this is a first half total.
A derby.
Yeah, this is the big one of the weekend. Man City, Man United. I picked Manchester City to win the title before the season at plus 3 something. I thought their defense would get better because it was so bad last year. So far this season, I am wrong. They have not figured anything out defensively. They're still giving up really good shots. They're a mess in transition. They might have a new keeper. They will have a new keeper, which is a good thing, but they're just figuring out how to play with each other. They have lots of injury issues at center back, so not sure who's going to start there. All that to say, City's defense is kind of a mess. United's defense it's consistent at least, but consistently kind of meh at best, and their midfield is still just wide open. So even though there are some injuries, City's missing several attackers here. I think this is just going to be an open game because neither team does much defensively in the midfield. United games have the most expected goals in the league this season, 11 plus in 3 games. So I think we're going to see a lot of goals, especially early. So I like over 1.5 goals in the first half at plus 135. You get a similar price on over 3.5 for the game, but I'd rather stick with the first half here just because I think both teams are going to kind of struggle to figure things out early in this one.
In our time talking about the Premier League, Paul, all these years, have I ever looked at the table and seen Man City this low, 13th, ever?
Maybe not. Maybe early, a season or two ago. Maybe last year they fell apart, but it wasn't until like October, November, so they'd kind of racked up some points already. So yeah, maybe not. And they just haven't. I mean, the attack has kind of been what we thought, but the defense has been as bad or worse. And yeah, I thought they would figure something out, but maybe that's not going to be the case.
All right, so just looking at the futures board, there's 7-1 there, Paul. If you're someone, let's just say you're someone who's been sitting on the sidelines, you like to have a Prem future in your pocket for the season, but you haven't made a bet yet. Is that a good number? We're not going to see that again, or you need to see something more out of this team before you'd bet it?
Both, I think. I'm not sure it's going to get worse or longer than 7-1 and still have a reasonable shot. But I'm not 100% convinced that they can figure it out defensively, especially with all the injuries. If they were healthy, you'd think, okay, Pep can move these pieces around and figure something out. But you throw in all the injuries, not even sure he's going to have week to week. It's hard to see him making up that many points on Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, etc.
All right, Arsenal win to 0 versus Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Then Liverpool laying the goal in the half at Burnley on Sunday. And Man City, Man U over 1.5 goals first half plus 135. Shop around for the best juice on that on Sunday. Paul, you got away with not having